I've compiled a list of the 10 best candies to freeze dry, and I'm even gonna show you how to freeze dry them. I feel like it's been so long since I've played with candy in my freeze dryer, so I am super excited for some candy fun today. Now, are these the only candies you can freeze dry? Of course not. So if you've got a favorite that didn't make my top 10 list, add it to the comments below. And we can share all the candy goodness with each other. The best way to line your trays for candy is with parchment paper. I get these pre-cut sheets of parchment from Amazon. They are amazing. They fit perfectly on my medium-sized trays. I will have them linked in the description for you if you want these. We're gonna glove up and then get going on our candy. A lot of these candies I freeze dry a little bit differently. I'm gonna put them all in one run. So we're gonna see if these all turn out freeze drying them together or if it becomes a flop. But you know, some of the candy preps differently to go into the freeze dryer than others. Some are just dump and go. Some I have some little tricks that I like to do to make them turn out better. But we're gonna start with the dump and go candies. So number 10, Skittles. These always turn out perfect for me. I've never had issues with Skittles. I am going to just dump some on my tray. I'm not doing sour Skittles today, but sour Skittles are my favorite. I like them even better than the regular Skittles. The next kind of dump and go candy, which is gonna be number 9, are Nerds Gummy Clusters. These are one of my most popular freeze-dried candies of all time. They're super good, and I cannot get this bag open. I have gotten to know my freeze dryer really well and know that certain candies do better on certain shelves. Skittles, I always put on the bottom because they never have a problem freeze drying. But it doesn't freeze dry fully evenly, at least not in my freeze dryer. So candies that are harder to freeze dry, like Jolly Ranchers, Starburst, things that Nerds Clusters that don't always turn out great, I don't put them on the bottom shelf. I leave them for the higher ones. So I'm being strategic with my candy placement. My third dump and go candy are caramel M&Ms. These are so good, so easy to freeze dry. If you want chocolatey freeze-dried candy, caramel M&Ms. Number 7, we got Fruit Roll-Ups. These are probably my kids' favorite freeze-dried candy. I mean, is Fruit Roll-Up a candy? Pretty much. These are a little more time-consuming to freeze-dry because you do have to unroll them to get this plastic wrapper off. But I just unroll it and then roll it back together. I sometimes cut them in half and do a half size, but I think I'm gonna leave them whole today. My number 6 candy, except it's really my top. This is my favorite freeze-dried candy. I think I've talked about this before on my channel, but Big Hunks. These are the best freeze-dried. If you don't like a big hunk, which I don't like them regular, but freeze-dried, they are heavenly. They can be kind of a pain to unwrap, but I just unwrap them. Make sure you get all the plastic off and just break them apart. I did have a viewer tell me, Harley, what's up, that she gets them a little bit melty and rolls them into little balls, and then you get perfect little big hunk balls. I wonder if I should do that. Because they're hard to break apart. So I popped these in the microwave for 30 seconds. I'm gonna see if I can roll these up. It's funny, they kind of look like little wadded up pieces of chewed up gum. But I really liked this method. It actually was not hard to do. I think it's worth taking the extra step. And then we're gonna get consistent little pieces of big hunk. So thank you for the tip. Coming in at number 5 is one of my favorites, caramels. Any type of soft Werther's style caramel puff up into these beautiful little pillowy clouds of sugary caramely goodness. I saw these at the grocery store. They are pumpkin spice caramels. Apparently it's pumpkin spice season already, which I mean makes sense. We're halfway through August, but we're gonna give these a try today. Now, just as a warning, caramels puff up very big. So you do want to cut them. I usually cut them in half. You can also cut them into thirds if you want even smaller pieces. But do not leave them whole. They will expand too big and hit the top of your shelf and just cause a mess. My trays of candy are looking very beautiful. This is kind of fun. I love seeing it all together at the same time. So I think we're on number 7. Number 7 is another ever popular candy, Jolly Ranchers. These I sometimes struggle with. The tropical version of the Jolly Ranchers freeze dry much better for me than the original. But today I have original, so we're just gonna do a few of these and see how they go. These are ones that I definitely cut in half also because they puff up really big. This is my favorite tool to use to cut the Jolly Ranchers. I learned about this tool from another freeze-dried candy business, and it makes cutting Jolly Ranchers super fast. I will have a similar one linked in Amazon in the video description below. So my final 3 candies, I do a special process for getting them ready to go into the freeze dryer, which I will show you, but first I'm gonna show you the candy and just get them packaged on my tray. I'm doing all 3 of them on my one tray, so I'm only doing this special process with one of my trays. But we've got Airheads. I'm gonna cut these in half also. We've got Hi-Chews. I'm gonna cut these in half. And we've got Starburst. I'm gonna leave these whole, I think. I'm loving the variety on my trays. This looks so pretty. I normally just do typically one candy of the whole thing if I'm trying to make bulk, but I think this is gonna be fun to turn into little variety packs of freeze-dried candy. I'll have to show you the packaging after this is all done. This batch of candy I am not gonna be selling. I'm just gonna save it for my family or for giving to friends. So these are my candies that I'm going to pre-warm in the oven. I've already preheated my oven to 220 degrees. They'll go in there for about 8 minutes or so. I just keep an eye on it. So when the candies start to get a little melty and jiggly, you don't want them fully melted because that would just be a big mess, but just when they start to get melty. You do have to do some pre-planning with this because you want to take your warm tray straight from the oven directly into your freeze dryer, but you want your freeze dryer shelves already pre-warmed also. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into customize. I'm just going to reset everything. For freeze time, you can ignore that because when we do candy mode, it skips freezing anyway. I'm going to go to 150 degrees. I'm going to freeze dry these for probably 5 hours. Usually I do my candy in 4 hours, but I think I'm going to be pretty busy today. I won't be getting back to it until probably 5 hours from now. I'm hitting stave and start. And then before we can do anything, we're waiting our 15-minute cool down process. So here's the tricky part. Once this is cooled down, I am going to not put my trays into the freeze dryer yet. I am going to select warm trays, increase the time to like 20 minutes. That's going to let our shelving unit get preheated up. That's gonna give me time to get my candy into the oven and melty. Then I will load all of my trays into the freeze dryer. We're still gonna be in the pre-warming phase, so our vacuum pump is not gonna be turned on yet. I'm gonna put everything in. Once it's in, I know it's warm, I can get rid of the pre-warming, so I'm just gonna get it to where the vacuum pump turns on and we start the freeze drying process. I'm gonna try to get a time lapse on my camera of the candy puffing up. That'll be fun. So while my tray is in the oven, I'm gonna turn candy process to on. I'm closing up my drain valve. I'm gonna hit continue. Warm trays, I'm hitting start. I'm adding 20 minutes. It's not gonna stay in there for 20 minutes, but this just gives me enough time for the shelves to get warm and then for my food in the oven to finish getting melty. I think we are looking good. So you want them to be like squishy when you touch them. I don't know if these need more time, but we're gonna go with it. Okay, let's go get these in the freeze dryer. We get to hurry and transfer these down through my basement, down to my freeze dryer room. Okay, we made it, and you can see our trays, They are at 135 degrees, so they have definitely warmed up. They'll still get up to 150, but I think we're okay putting them in now. So now that I got my trays in here, I am just going to go down to zero this out, and it automatically kicks on my vacuum pump, and we are good to go. My kids are at school today, so it's super nice to be able to get some filming done without little loud crazy kids running around and making some noise. So I hope you're enjoying the peace and quiet in today's video. If you're watching this and it's still the month of August, Harvest Right is having a big sale on their freeze dryers. It is their Black Friday promo that they run. Extra $500 off of freeze dryers plus free shipping, which is awesome. I have an affiliate link in the video description below. If you click there, it'll take you to their website and you can shop for freeze dryers. Mine is the size medium. I absolutely love it. It's perfect for what I need. And the newer version of the medium actually gives you 5 shelves and trays instead of 4. So that's an upgrade. Okay, I tried to record taking this out of the freeze dryer and my camera battery was dead. So this has freeze dried for 6.5 hours. Now I can pull them out. Everything looks so good. I am like so impressed. So we've got our Skittles. The fruit roll-ups don't puff up super big. They get kind of bubbly like that, but they're crunchy and delicious. The big hunks, I am obsessed with. They turned out so good, rolled up in those little balls. So nice. The pumpkin spice caramel, can't wait to try that. Caramel M&Ms. Nerds gummy clusters. The Jolly Ranchers turned out kind of wonky. It's like half of it went nice, half of it were duds. So like I said, Jolly Ranchers are wonky for me sometimes, but our Airheads look great. Our Hi-Chews look great. And the Starburst, they're like little pillows. Oh, they look so good. So for packaging, I'm just gonna do like a variety bag of candy in here. These are kind of large bags. They're 5 by 8. I typically like the Mylar bags that are like 4.5 by 7.5 inches, which is this size right here. It holds 4 ounces of Skittles perfectly, but I don't know, this is the size comparison. This size is nice for like the big things like the caramels because they don't package well in the small bags. So that's why I have the bigger size on hand. But for smaller candies, I prefer this size of bag. Bigger candies, I usually use this size. But since we're doing a variety, we're gonna go with the big. Let's see, I'm definitely gonna keep these more savory, chocolatey tray of candy together. I just don't think those flavors will mix good with these fruity flavors. I'm gonna do a fruit roll up. Like, I'm trying to put the least fragile things on the bottom. Okay, fruit roll up Skittles. Then I think I'll do the Airheads. Some Hi-Chews. And are these gonna, oh, I'm not gonna be able to fit everything. Okay, they're just gonna have to be whatever it is. That's fine. This is how the Jolly Rancher looks up close. It's like halfway freeze dried. So I don't think I'm gonna package these. I'll just let my kids eat these because they're just not as pleasant as the other ones. So that's okay. I think I can fit some of everything in the bag. Should we see if it'll shut? Will you shut without crushing everything? That is the question. We're not looking good. I think I overfilled. Okay, well, I got it zipped. And our little neighbor was over here playing, and she told me it's her brother's birthday today. So I'm gonna send a bag home with her to give to him for his birthday. He's actually one of my substitute teaching students who I have got to have a few times throughout last year. He's a wonderful kid, but for his grade level, I always bring freeze-dried Skittles with me to bribe the kids with good behavior. I will give them freeze-dried Skittles. So I'm kind of known at my kids' elementary school as Mrs. Freeze-Dry or Freeze-Dry Lady or Mrs. Skittles. That was my favorite name that they gave me, Mrs. Skittles. But anyway, I know he will be thrilled to get this for a birthday gift, so that's fun. So once I have my candy filled in my bag, I just need to heat seal the top. Voila, and it's ready to go. Here are the bags I ended up with. I also had one more of these, but I already sent it to my neighbor's house for his birthday, so which one would you pick? The chocolatey bag or the more fruity bag? It's hard for me. I'm 50-50, but this one has my all-time favorite, which is the big hunk. Here's my extras that I think we need to do some taste testing with. I thought it would be fun to do some taste testing outside because the evening got quite nice. Today was very windy and chilly, but the wind settled and it's like really nice out. So you're ready to watch me eat all of this candy? Just kidding. I'm just gonna try a few. I'm dying to try the pumpkin spice caramel. They just melt instantly in your mouth. I can definitely taste the pumpkin spice flavor. It's subtle, but it's there. That's good. Okay, the caramel M&Ms are so good because the chocolate kind of stays chocolatey. It doesn't freeze dry or harden, but the caramel expands. So you get kind of a mix of textures. That's a good one. My favorite, the big hunk. I was trying to get a piece of it so you could see the inside. Heavenly. So good. Okay, the next one I'm gonna try is the Airhead. This is my first time pre-warming the Airheads in the oven, and they turned out way better than they normally do. Oh, that's nice. When you don't pre-warm them, they're very hard to bite. Sorry, there's a huge RV going by, that's loud. They're kind of hard to bite, but these, they're the perfect texture. This is a huge win. Try not to eat the whole thing so that I can try everything. Okay, and I'm dying to try the Starburst. So good. Similar texture to the Airhead. I'm finishing this one. Okay, I'm gonna save the rest for my kids. Aren't they lucky? I don't only use my freeze dryer to freeze dry candy. Oh, hi. Do you want a piece of candy?
Yeah.
Pick one.
Wait, do I get to do all?
Well, start with one.
Is this?
Some of them I've taken bites out of, but you could still finish it. That one's an Airhead.
Airhead.
That one's better than before, huh?
Mm-hmm. Great.
What's nice about freeze-dried candy and kids, they think they're getting a huge piece of candy when really that was half of a fun-size Airhead with my bite taken out of it. But they feel like they're getting a big treat when really it's just a small piece of candy in its original form. So parenting hack. But before he got here, I think I was trying to say that I don't only freeze dry candy. I love freeze drying MRE meals. I preserve fruits, vegetables. I recently made beef bone broth with my freeze dryer and turned it into a powder. That turned out amazing. But there's so much you can do with it. That's why I love it. If you're interested in some of my other candy videos that I have done, I will link them here on the screen for you. I hope you're having a fabulous day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace out.